peeps, how you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Right, let me get you on and put you in the way. Hang on a minute. Why do I look blurry? Hang on. Give you a bit of clean. Right, I'm just going to get the Facebook open on my computer, if it will let me in. How you doing? Today is literally answering a question. I've had quite a few questions, very similar. So I thought I would answer it and sort of tell you like what other people do. And then you may have ideas, you may not. That's all good. And then if you've got any further Q&A questions, then just ask and then I'll just answer them, okay? So we'll just make this a Q&A session, okay? Right, so let me get up Facebook. Come on, it's been very slow today. Everything's I'm having one of those days. I think, what's the word? Like the universe is definitely against me today, but that's all down to my mindset. That's what I believe anyway. Like, you know, when you start off the day in, like you in the wrong, how can I put it? Like, if you always think something negative is going to happen, then you just have this like consequence happen all day. That's what's happened to me today. And I think it's all stemmed from about 3:10 this morning, where my little boy was like, it's time to get up. And it's just sort of spiraled. Oh, it's been a hell of a day. Right, why are we not opening up here? Anyway, hopefully you guys are here. I can actually see that some people are here, but I can't see who. So let's see what this delightful thing, if it will work for me, shows. What you been up to today? It's Friday today, isn't it? The days all roll into one for me. I don't really have, you know, some people like live for the weekend. I don't live for the weekend. I love every day. So I really don't like, oh, yay, the weekend. And I don't know, well, I don't know how everyone else works, but because this is like my job, this is all I do, is Pole Power Academy. I love it. So I don't have days where I have off because I just enjoy it. So I don't need to look forward to the weekend as such because I enjoy every day. And then else will be like, when's Monday coming? Anyway, hey Catherine Malone, hey Kathy West, hey Kim Bates, hey Monique, how you doing? Lots of training today from Kathy. Abs are feeling it, fantastic. I tell you what, you guys who are members, you'll know Leanne. Leanne is one of our team members of Team PPA. She is our main team member, and she's been on holiday for 2 weeks, and I'm not allowing her to have holiday again. Joking. But oh my God, I'm so looking forward to her coming back next week, just to take some of the workload off again, and then I can get back into my training, because my training has not been as much as I wanted it to be. But you know, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. It is what it is. You just have to just adapt. It's called life, right? Haha, rightio. Right, let's get stuck in. Who else is here? There's like 6 of you here. Let me know who is just watching. I know there's watchers out there. It's actually quite, to be honest, lots of people do it. I do it, including myself. Like I absorb lots of information, but I don't always interact. So I can see you. I can see you. So if it's helpful to you, I'm glad you're here. Cool. Okay, so the main question today that I've had quite a lot is, I basically, or you want to join us, whether that's program membership, whatever, we can't afford it, okay? And I totally get it. It's, you know, times are freaking hard at the moment. I totally understand, you know, you've got to cut your costs because you've got stupid bills to pay. Stupid bills. Why do we have to pay bills? Bills suck. So I totally get that. So we're going to talk about what you can do about it, what our members have done about it to be able to come and join us. And I think at the end of the day, it is all about priority. What do you priority? And that goes with everything, okay? So firstly, you don't need to join us to make progress. You can figure it out on your own if you have the time to do that. So you don't necessarily, you know, need any online program or course, because there's lots of free information out there, which, you know, there is. It doesn't matter what you want to look into. There is information galore out there. The only trouble is trying to like scythe through it. Is that the right word? I don't know. And try and figure out what is the right thing, what is a good technique, are they demonstrating it well, blah, 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 and then figuring out your own plans. So if you have the time available to do that, then you absolutely can progress without joining. But like I said, it just takes a little bit of time and, you know, preparation and a lot of research really to understand what is a beginner move if you're looking at beginners, particularly if you want to start with foundations, okay? So that's also, this is another reason why we started this Mission 500, is to be able to help and give support with little tips every day, which is hopefully what I've been trying to do. Hopefully you've gathered something from it, so that you can take this information and put it into a plan, okay, whatever that may be. Obviously, if you're part of our program anyway, then a lot of this information is already in there. I just sometimes go into a little bit more depth if I'm like just focusing on it for you guys, if you've got questions about it. Usually like questions that come individually, I usually work on like one-to-one coaching or something like that, or group coaching, depending what membership or program people have. But I'm trying to just, you know, give it to you so that you can take this information, okay? So you can still learn something without having to pay for it. Yeah, does that make sense? Cool. Okay, and then obviously Mission 500 memberships that we offer, they're unique, okay? So we don't offer these memberships normally. I have one standard membership called Pole Intensive, but this is like smaller versions of that, and so that they were cheaper and accessible for a lot more people. So for a lot of people, most people can find 50p a day, or they can adapt. So for example, they don't really think about it as 50p a day, like, because it works out like £15 per month, but that's only 50p a day. So if you changed, you know, if you have a coffee at home instead of having a coffee, you know, Starbucks or wherever, then you will be able to do that so easily. But a lot of people don't like to make changes. They love what they do. And that again comes down to priority. If you really want it, if you want the program or a course or membership, or, you know, whether it's a handbag or whatever, right? You can adapt. But a lot of people don't want to adapt. They want it all. Don't we all? We all want it all, but that's okay. So again, it's completely up to you. Could you afford 50p a day if you maybe changed, I don't know, what loaf of bread you got? Maybe go for a whole, you know, an own brand bread instead of Hovis or something. I don't know. But you can easily save like 50p a day to then put it into something that you're going to get so much out of, okay? What else could you buy for 50p a day? That's what I want to know. What do you buy for 50p a day? You know, like, I don't even know how much a coffee is. Some people are just coffee people, aren't they? And they go out for a coffee every day. How much is a coffee? I don't know, 3-4 quid, maybe more? I don't know. Imagine if you just didn't have one of those for a week. So there's options, okay? But yeah, just have a little think about it. And you know, what could you get rid of? So if you have like a chocolate bar every day, could you actually reduce that chocolate bar and not have that chocolate bar, and actually come and join the program or course or membership? And then that covers that. Not only is it healthier, you're going to feel freaking fantastic that you've got access to all these lessons and you get to repeat them. Like, how many lessons can you attend for 50p and be able to repeat them if you wanted to? Let me know. If there's people that's doing it for 50p lessons out there, if I want to know, let us know. Let us all know in. But if not, that's what this membership is for. Okay. Love the groups. Love the coaching. Awesome. Thanks, Kathy. Yes, and so actually it's a good point. So not a weekly pole lesson at the studio. We've actually had a couple of members that's told me this week, oh, by the way, your program's brilliant, that I don't need to go to the studio anymore. I was like, okay, cool. So not only, you know, they've already saved money, like not going to the studios. Brilliant. And they still get everything and more. So it really depends what you're after. Hi Kelly, how do we join Mission 500? And is it similar to the structured program? So Mission 500 is part of the program. So when I say it's part of the program, what I mean is that it's just tiny snippets. So if you're part of our Ultimate Progression program, everything's in there, yeah? So everything is, particularly if you're a new PP2, you've got everything from off the pole workouts, to flexibility, to the structured lessons of foundation, developmental, creativity, pole circuits, pole flow. There's so much in the program. It's all laid out for you. So Mission 500 is just taking a little part of that. So it could be, okay, like for this month, Mission 500 is the structured foundation lessons that they can have access to. So they get that. They're also getting pole circuits as well as a bit of a bonus. So they're able to get that. So you get, if you're part of UPP2, Diane, then you will get everything that's part of Mission 500. So you don't need to do anything else because you've got it there, okay, as and when that you get to it. So what I would say, guys, for those that are members, is don't freak out like you're missing out on anything, because you'll get to it, or get to whatever lessons that we're doing in good time. So like pole circuits come into creativity lessons, or creativity module 3. So you'll work through foundation and then developmental. You'll build your strength and foundation. You'll develop your skills and flexibility and developmental. Then you get to the creativity. So it all comes with good time. So the whole point of the program is that you're not overwhelmed. So that's why it's laid out how it is, but you don't miss out anything. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. The only people that really joined Mission 500 are people that want access to other things that they don't have access to if they're part of a membership. So if they're like just part of like a structured membership, or the pole intensive membership, and they don't have like pole circuits, for example, or the beginner handstands that were in the first Mission 500 membership, they've joined just to be able to access those. Does that make sense? So it really just depends what you're after, if that makes sense. And some people have multiple memberships, and then they can just cancel what they want when they want. If that makes sense. Why am I saying if that makes sense as many times as I can? I apologise. Rubbish. So yeah, another thing is like, you know, some people I get a lot of abuse from, actually. Oh my God, why is your program so expensive? I'm like, it looks expensive because you haven't sat down and actually worked out how much you pay for your pole lessons. What you pay for your pole lessons in a year might be what I charge. However, you get access to life, and there's no, you know, the minimum time you could probably complete the program as it's laid out, doing at least 3 times a week, is 3.5 years. So, you know, how much would you pay to go to your studio 3 times a week for 3 years? Work that out. And then you'll see actually why people decide to join. And yeah, sometimes it is like, oh my God, but it's such an upfront cost. Yeah, absolutely. There is an option to join us on a installment option. And then once all those installments have been finished, you don't need to pay anymore. You just keep access. And some of our members actually just chose to put it on a credit card so that they're able to spread the costs over a longer period, you know, 3 to 5 years or something, so they can still get the benefit from it. So it really depends on what you're after. Okay. Like how important it is to you. Completely up to you. It is completely up to you. So there's not really much I can do in terms of making it any cheaper than I already have. And if it's not working for you, or you don't want to change anything, or you don't want to reduce anything, and I totally get it, you know, times are hard right now. You don't have to. I'm not forcing anyone to join us, okay? If you don't think it will benefit you, don't join. If you can't afford it, don't join. Yeah, and if you feel like you can make some adjustments and you can make some changes to make this work, then you'll do really well, because you will have made it a priority, and then you'll get stuck in. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to join because I might not actually use it. And I'm like, that's why a lot of people join our program, and they actually commit to that amount, because they always tell themselves, well, if I've paid that money, I'm bloody well doing it. Whereas when people do it for nothing, like challenges and stuff, a lot of people don't complete them because they don't pay for them. So there's no value in it for them. Does that make sense? And a lot of people just don't want to make change. They want the results, but they don't actually want to do the work to get there. So they may join out of, oh my God, I need this in my life, but they're not actually doing anything about it. So I only want you guys in if you're actually going to use it, because I'm really passionate about seeing you progress. And it's really heart-wrenching when you see that nobody's actually logged in or done it, and it's like, oh my God, you could get the results. You joined. I've got a solution to what you want. Okay, if you want a pole every week, I've got a lesson for you to do. If you don't know what tricks to start off with, the structured lessons, perfect for you. Like everything is there ready for you to do if you need it, if you want it. Does this make sense? Not to mention free live lessons and coaching for 12 months. Yes, absolutely. There's literally a year's worth of lessons in UPP. You're absolutely right, Kathy. There is so much. But I believe you need it all in good time. You know, like you might be a complete beginner right now, and that's great. This is what the program's all about, is for beginners. Like I don't go anywhere above like advanced. Like, you know, you can go pro, you can go elite, higher advanced. I just don't focus on that because there is so much out there. If you're brand new and you've no idea where to start with the structured lessons, because they will break it down from the very beginning. And that's where I think so many people are missing the mark when they're advertising for beginner lessons. I'm like, it makes me really sad because I know how people get really frustrated and really annoyed with themselves when they can't do it. And it's like, actually, there's so much you can do before you need to learn that move, that you can actually build your confidence and strength up if you do these first. So yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, it totally depends on your priorities, guys. I can't help you any other ways. If it's not a priority to you, you won't bump it up the list. This is actually funny. Priorities is a funny thing because we'll all prioritize things differently. Okay, so things like I was only in my nutrition group earlier, and Alison, one of our members in there, and she was talking about spices and herbs and like what you could put in your food. And I was saying I add absolutely nothing because I don't understand it. I don't really understand cooking. I don't really like cooking. I don't make cooking a priority. I cook enough or just food that I know is, or I'm trying to, that's healthier for me, like eating on my veg, and I will just cook it in some coconut oil, maybe add a bit of garlic, but I don't add anything else. Okay, there's no other seasoning because I don't understand it, and also I don't make it priority. I also don't at this stage don't want to make it priority. Does that make sense? But if I wanted to, then I would need to adapt it. So also that's a classic thing actually of having a six-pack. So it's one of those things like, oh, I really want this. Okay, so some people, I really want the membership, or I want this, I want that. So I'm like, oh yeah, I really want a six-pack. But that priority is way down the list because I'll have a cake or a donut before. So that donut and cake and the feeling I'm getting out of that in that moment is my priority, more than the six-pack that I would have to get later on. And this is a very similar thing to the lessons, to the memberships. You might want it, but you're not committed to it right now. Might change in the future. That's okay. Do what you want to do right now. I'm not, if I'm not going to force anyone into it. I only want you guys if you feel that we can help you and you want to see results, and that's it really. If not, I'm sure there's YouTube for you. Alrighty. So Kathy says, I was intermediate when I joined a couple of years ago, and there's still loads of content I have left to use and revisit. That's the thing. Repetition is key. A lot of our members will repeat the courses multiple times, and that's the beauty, is like when you go to a studio class, you pay for the class and that's it. You go home and then you're like, shit, what did I even learn? Like, well, how do I hold the pole? Where's my leg placement? What am I meant to grip with? Whereas when you've got the structured lessons, it's I'll just recap that little bit. I'm like, okay, just replay. Awesome. Okay, now I've got it, and you can do that as many times as you want. And so I know actually a few of our members are doing it for the second time, but some people do it 3 or 4, 5, 6 times, particularly our flexibility courses as well. And once you've got the content, and particularly if you're the program, you don't need to pay over and over and over and over again. So if you wanted to learn the same things that you learned in your lesson at the studio, what would you have to do? You would have to pay for it again. So just think about that when you're mounting up your costs, because it's okay. I don't know how much you're paying for lessons now. I'm pretty sure standard really here in the UK is probably between £12 and £15 per lesson. That mounts up. It doesn't seem too much, and like, yeah, that's manageable. But actually, if you figure it all out, okay, if you wanted to do several sessions, maybe you do only do 1 session a week because that's all you can afford. Well, imagine what you could do if you had a pole at home and you could like pole 3-4 times a week. Amazing. The progress would be insane, right? This is why a lot of our members do it. Didn't think I would, but I have enjoyed beginners for the third time through. Well done, Suzanne. Yeah, absolutely. So it is one of those things, I think the first time you like, and some things, actually a lot of things, you don't grasp until you've like rewatched it 2 or 3 times. There'll be certain tips you're like, oh, I don't remember hearing that, because you're so concentrating on the first bit, you haven't heard the rest. And this is where actually you get better, because you're able to pick up the tips the more times you listen to it, and you're like, that's why, damn it. And this is a classic, actually. Wrist seats is a classic for needing to repeat for so many people, because they understand they've got to get hands down, they understand they get the legs up, and then they put the hand underneath the butt, but then they forget about keeping the legs up, and then they try and open the legs and they slide down, and they keep doing it, and they're like, wow, I've got my legs, and they're doing it all, but they've forgotten to keep engaged. And it isn't until like they repeat it, they're like, oh, I keep dropping my legs, that makes sense, because they've rewatched it, or they've booked in for coaching, or whatever it may be. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it, Sue. I'm so glad. That's really awesome. And a lot of people they don't think they will, but actually, compared to your first time, like that's the beauty of having doing recordings, is seeing what you did the first time and then redoing it. I've actually got one of our members in the group, actually, Mystique. If you're already a member, she actually posts in the Poetics Facebook page as well, so you can see it. Like, she's got videos or pictures of her doing the moves the first time round. She's been following our lessons. Now she's on her second round. I think she's going into her third round now. She's just finished lesson 12 again, so she's going to start it again. And the difference in her form and technique, amazing, so awesome. And I think that's why it's really important to track your progress, and that usually comes by recording and watching and learning. Yeah, so that was really short and sweet. Does anyone have any further questions? I'm not really going to go on about it. I mean, if it's important to you, you'll come and join us if you think we can help. And if it's not important to you right now, you'll find something else that'll be a priority. But yeah, it's all good, all good. So if you've got anything else, let me know. Let me know. How are we doing? How are we doing? Trying to think if there was any other questions that I've seen today. I don't think so. I think we've been covering quite a lot, haven't we? We've been covering quite a lot. Oh, don't forget, guys, if you have access to the Zoom lessons, sorry. If you have a membership with us and you have access to Zoom lessons, you will be able to come and join us for front splits on Monday. Yes, I'm so excited for that. First front splits Zoom that I've done in a while, and I'm really excited to get bendy with you guys again. So we're just doing 1 session a week live, and then you've got access to the structured lessons inside your membership anyway. And also very soon I will be adding new splits lessons, because I want to update the ones that are already on the portal. They've been there for a little while, and I'm not really, when I first did it, I did the record, you've got the recordings live, and I did a Facebook live, so the quality is not there because it was a Facebook live, so I'm going to re-record them using my camera, and then yeah, it's going to look great with all my new techniques that I have learned along the way since doing that course. So that'd be really cool. Been practicing. Kathy says, yes, been practicing getting up early. It might not be early for some of you guys. It is 9:30 a.m. UK time. For Kathy, that's early. For me, that's like lunchtime. Especially with the boy getting up at like 3 a.m. Oh dear. But yeah, no, that's going to be really super exciting. It's so good. So excited for that. And this week's been really awesome, actually, because it's been accountability, the first week of accountability. If you haven't joined that, there's still time. So what this means is that as a member, you'll be able to post every week. We recommend that you post at least once a week to keep yourself accountable, to keep yourself motivated. If you're somebody that's like, oh, I really want to use my poll every week, then get yourself on it. Just put your name down on the tracker, and I'll add it to you. Just put it on the post. And every Monday we make sure that you've done your lessons. And so we go through each and every person that's on my tracker. And if you haven't posted, we will call you out. Hey, what happened? Because I see no posts. You have to post it in that week as well. Okay, so if you post, a lesson and you say, oh, I did this last week, but I've only posted it now, it won't count, because it just gets too confusing trying to tally up everyone. Oh, like she said she did it then. No. Right, post it in this week. Get it done. Boom. And if you don't want to post, go live in the group. Going live, okay, is scary for some people, but a few of you are starting getting used to going live now in the group, which is great because we are a beautiful community. Go live because one, it will make you train harder. Like when you know you've got the pressure of like somebody's watching, you know, and if you stand around hanging around for 5 minutes, like, you know, having too much of a gap in your training, we can pick it up and say, you should be getting back on your pole, because like that's where progression happens, not having too much gap in between your training. Does this make sense? And we want to help you with that. So yeah, being live definitely helps you not cheat, I suppose, if that makes sense. Like if you know that you're one that spends too much time faffing about, go live. Because like I said, because you want to do better, which is cool. All right, my loves. Right, I don't want to bore you anymore, but hopefully this was helpful to some of you. If you've got any questions or if you want to join our 50p a day membership, that is the Current Mission 500 membership, which gives you access to our structured foundation lessons. So if you are stuck and you haven't built your foundation solid, and maybe you're weaker one side than the other, and you want to master it through levels, okay, and not just hope for the best, you'll want to join that one. And plus you get our new Pulse Circuits, which is only usually part of our UPP program and creativity module. So there's some benefits there. And of course, if you want to join us for nutrition, you also get our nutrition module. Boom, 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 boom. Too much awesomeness. Right, my loves. Okay, I need a wee. I know too much information, but I do. And I will see you tomorrow.